Maker's Log 89906. The Underworld.
Ember City is a truly incredible creation. Covered in a dome of rock beneath the ground, it's a cavern that's split into 3 flat tiers, as if weathered by limestone and water. Rather, I think it was a result of that bile from that massive land squid Onok killed some years back. Whether acid or lime, though, I suppose the effect was still the same. When the other elders picked their home to settle above ground and started looking after the early batches of Sibrii, Onok chose to stay down there. He's made from pure darkness, so I suppose it makes sense. But it sure makes it awkward to visit him. Every time I walk those tunnels, I can feel myself dying again. My mask reacts to that gloom poorly. But that reaction is unique to me. The Sibrii all seem right at home, whether their element is shadow or even air. The Sibrii all seem right at home, whether their element is shadow or even air. The city's relatively central location has made it the popular hub of commerce for this fledgling society. Don't worry, Limna is still my favorite place by a long shot. Nothing can compare to your gardening genius. But Onok's little underworld is nothing short of a testament to the power that these Sibrii wield together. If these children of mine had overlapped with our own people, I'm not sure we'd have stayed at the top of the food chain. The galaxy's far safer for it, I guess. For now, at least. 3. Family Matters. Just as Tirak expected, a scrawny boy with maroon and black armor was throwing pebbles against the walls of one bedroom after another. Psst! Wrong window, Pimplewort! Are you crazy? The boy's cry of surprise was way more satisfying to see than it should have been. Somewhere on the street, the stuffy voice of a guard picked that moment to pipe up. "Hey, what was that? Did I hear something breaking over there? Elder Onok, are you all right?" The accent was definitely Umbri. Tirak guessed it was either the obnoxious guy he had shadowed yesterday, or maybe the new graduate from the day before who still hadn't learned the difference between a joke and a stab wound. Whichever one it was, if he came and looked over the hedge, then he would either recognize Tirak or immediately try to arrest 2 filthy fire criminals. The first option was probably worse. Tirak nudged the kid and pointed to a gap in the back wall where a stone had knocked loose ages ago. "Come on, I've got a shortcut that goes straight down below." The opening led them back to the edge of the cliff, where a narrow crack beneath the porch was just big enough to squeeze one's way into. The almost 200-head climb was a little tiring, but it wasn't all that long in the end, and it hid them from prying eyes. Tirak liked to think the daily exercise was part of what gave him a leg up on most guys his size. The boy's wheezing gasps beside him only reinforced that fact. Tirak stretched casually until a joint in his back made a satisfying pop. "See, kid? You need to do that more often. Maybe you should add it to the daily routine until you can even knock big ol' Hod onto his back." The boy grumbled and gave him what was supposed to be a light punch on the shoulder. Tirak stumbled until he had managed to catch a hand on the wall beside him. Stupid bum leg. He would never admit it if asked, but it was just as tired as his friend sounded. Soon they were wandering free through the smoky lower streets of Umbra as the pipsqueak filled him in between complaints about his arms. Sure, the air stank with a mixture of street sewage, animals, and glass forges, but to Tirak's nose, that smoke was the sweet scent of family. He rested a hand on the boy's shoulder and grinned at a pair of passing guards. They were fellow Ignii, but they still wore Umbra's emblem. They were still the enemy. Tirak kept his grin wide and forced himself to relax. They needed to look more natural and disappear into the crowd. In that case, what to talk about? Oh, how about the kind of topic an older brother would bring up? Something that would make the kids squirm. He tossed a few fire shards and a violet flake toward one street vendor he recognized, and picked a few breakfast buns off a skewered stack as they passed. Tirak took a large bite out of one and dropped the other into the wide-eyed kid's hands. Wiping a sticky palm on one leg of his shorts, he threw the now clean arm around his friend's neck in a brotherly, conspiratorial gesture. "So, did you ever ask out Tally?" Tirak asked. The sagging shoulders told him all he needed to know. "No," Pimplewort mumbled. "I'm telling you, kid, she's into you even if she doesn't act like it. You should just ask her. What's the worst that could happen?" he pressed. The boy laughed nervously. "Well, she could turn me down, then tell her friends about how ugly little Pimplewort tried to kiss her or something. I could become a joke to my whole city tier. Or worse, she could find out what I am and report us all." "Nah," Tirak yawned. "She wouldn't do that. Her dad's an old brand too, you know. Besides, who cares if we're golden hearts? That's a badge of pride anywhere but upper tier." Tirak gave him a soft punch on the shoulder. "See? You should go for it. She's pretty cute," he teased with a sing-song inflection. The boy's eyes widened. He's a... Oh, Maker! That just makes it even more awkward. What am I going to say? "Yes, sir, I'll go beat up that shopkeep right away, sir. By the way, I have a huge crush on your little girl." "Yeah, no thanks." Tirak shrugged and kept walking. He waved to several familiar faces. Haggard mothers tying up soiled laundry to dry as if they had been able to clean it down here. Kids playing a game with splinters of fireglass. Lifeless forge workers on their way to a new day of slave work. They were all family down here. Life was tough, but that was just what the island threw at you. Pimplewort caught up after a couple seconds. But what about you? I heard you were going to make a move on a glassforge girl, Sarah." A cough lodged itself in Tirak's throat. The boy's eyes waggled. He knew exactly what he was doing. Did everyone know about that? Tirak had only told a couple of drinking buddies. Sarah? What? Her? Nah. Shot down instantly. This was bad. He needed to stop talking. How in the island could he get out of this? I didn't even get past the stuttering I think she's one of our dear elder's extra devoted followers. The ones that get all weird about any kind of abnormal that burns outside the fire pit, if you know what I mean. And I've always been a misfit." Tirak rapped on his bad leg and felt nothing. The boy's eyes were drawn to the cavity where muscles still refused to grow. Either she hates me because I'm a golden heart, or she hates me for becoming an Umbree's cleaning boy to make ends meet. The boy kept prodding him for details, no matter how much Tirak tried to deflect him. His cheeks were getting flushed. How was this turning against him so quickly? In truth, he had never asked the girl. The comment had been an idle dream, not a serious plan. He cringed at the idea of trying to juggle a relationship along with all his secrets. Time to change the subject. Tirak lowered his voice. "Hey, so what's all this about? What does Blade want us to muster for this time?" The boy grew serious at the mention of their boss's name, his voice suddenly more hushed. "I honestly dunno. Blade was just all mad and wanted absolutely everyone at the den for a meeting. I think it has something to do with that green fish you caught snooping around the market last week." Tirak bristled at the slur. He couldn't help feeling like it was directed at Kaleek every time he heard it used. Don't throw that word around unless you need to. "Why? A fish is a fish, plain and simple. It doesn't matter to me if she's kind of pretty," Pimplewort scoffed. He could hear the clueless bravado in the kid's voice. But so many other members, ones older than both of them combined, talked exactly the same way too. All it did was encourage spite. Listen, kid. I know a lot of firebrands get all uptight about anyone that's not Igni, but it's not helpful to go around insulting everyone just because we can. But that's all beside the point. You think Blade's planning a hit on her or something? Pimplewort shrugged. Dunno. Probably. Why, though? When did we start having beef with anyone but the Umbrii? The kid wouldn't say anything more, and, given his age, Tirak guessed he didn't know. He grunted and let the matter drop. Hey, Tirak, did you have the dream again? You're always so grumpy when you do. The question cut through Tirak like a glowing dagger. Like it always did. His shoulders deflated. He had to fight back an image of glowing red jowls biting at his head. Yeah, and look, before you ask, it's not just that. Today's just not a good day, you know? It would have been their anniversary if only it hadn't been for yesterday. And no, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Tyr. Did they really get eaten defending you from a pack of hellhounds? Yes, Tirak hissed through clenched teeth. It was getting hard to see where he was walking. Red fangs flashed in the corners of his vision. Wow, they must have really cared about you. Hey, Pimplewort? Shut up! He leveled his strongest glare at the kid, which would have been a little more intimidating if his voice hadn't cracked halfway through. In the end, their silence for the remainder of the journey was less to do with how intimidated Pimplewort was, and more with their being 30 paces from the door.